Hey guys, this is MGS Warrior 2 and this is a Wi-Fi battle. I had an Omega Ruby with Jake. The second Wi-Fi battle that I've had on Christmas. So here we go. Jake leads off with his Heatran. And let off at my Landorus again. So his Heatran is holding a air balloon. I set up a Stealth Rock. And I wasn't expecting this hidden power ice, so unfortunately that one hit KOs my Landorus right off the bat. So I bring in my Latios because it resists fire. So Jake withdraws his Heatran and goes into his Azumarill. Because it's part fairy and it's super effective against dragon, I go for the light screen. So I decide to switch out my Latios because it's a fairy type. I don't want Latios fighting any fairies. So I switch into my Dusknoir. But he goes for the Play Rough and that was a critical hit. So unfortunately my Dusknoir goes down. So I think I should have switched into Scizor in the first place, so now I switch it in. And he brings in his Gliscor. So I Mega Evolve Scizor into Mega Scizor. And I go for the Bullet Punch. And now I see it's holding a Toxic Orb. So he withdraws his Gliscor. Goes into Heatran, which is the perfect counter for Scizor. It also resists Bullet Punch 4 times. So here I set up a Swords Dance. I guess I was just scouting to see if he would switch. So I can't leave Scizor in, definitely. Well, obviously. So he goes for Fire Blast, and my Latios is able to resist that, especially with Light Screen up. So Jake goes into his Scizor, probably predicting a dragon move. But I set up my second screen, Reflect, so now my team has higher defense and special defense. So now I bring in my Gallade as his Scizor sets up a Swords Dance. So this is, I guess, a bulky Swords Dance Scizor that he has. So I go for the close combat here, trying to get rid of this Scizor before it tries to sweep me, but unfortunately it survived the close combat. And he's going to set up another Swords Dance, and that's not good. That makes this Scizor really scary with ×4 attack. Well, not ×4, +4 attack. So I switch out here. I don't want my Gallade to go down to a Bullet Punch. So I bring in my Mega Scizor who can resist Bullet Punch. But thanks to the Reflect, it didn't do as much as it normally would. So here I decide to set up a Swords Dance of my own. And this Scizor goes for the Super Power. And if Reflect wasn't up, it definitely would have one-hit KO'd. So my Scizor goes for Bullet Punch. Now that he has drop in defense after Super Power, I got a crit. So his Scizor goes down. And now Jake brings out his Ampharos. And he Mega Evolves it into Mega Ampharos, which is That means it gains a dragon typing. So I go for the X Scissor, but sadly it did not one-hit KO. And it's just going to finish me with a Thunderbolt. So here I bring in my Flygon, which is Scarfed. And I revenge kill with an Earthquake. And that is a pretty nice play, because I got rid of the Mega Ampharos. So my team's Reflect finally wore off. So he brings in his Gliscor, and I'm locked into Earthquake, so I have no choice but to switch out. I bring in my Latios. Unfortunately, he goes for the Toxic, and that will cripple my Latios, dealing increasingly more poison damage each and every turn, while his Gliscor is benefiting from the Toxic Orb with Poison Heal. So he's doing some Toxic stalling here with Protect. I'm trying to see what I'm going to do. I was going for the Memento, which means I faint my Latios and sharply lower the opponent's attack and special attack. So here I decide to go for a Psychic instead. Good thing I did, because he tried to go for a Substitute. I guess predicting that I would go for Memento again. So here he's doing more Toxic stalling with Protect, which is really annoying me right now, because it's working and the Toxic is really doing its damage on Latios. So now Jake withdraws his Gliscor, he doesn't want to take another Psychic, and he brings in his Sylveon. So here I do go for another Psychic, but Sylveon is really specially bulky, was able to take that pretty well. And Latios is not going to survive another turn of Toxic Poisoning, and it goes down. So now I bring in my Gallade, which seems like a bad matchup because it's part fighting and it's not good against Fairy, but I was hoping a Psycho Cut would finish it, but unfortunately it survived with a few hit points, and it was able to get off the Toxic on my Gallade, which is not good. Now another one of my Pokemon is poisoned. So obviously Jake has a Toxic stalling team, which is really working for him very well right now. So I bring in my Flygon. He tried to Protect, but it failed. I think I saw that coming because I saw what Gliscor was doing with Toxic stalling, and I figured his other Pokemon can do the same thing. So he's trying to scout what Flygon's gonna do. I tried to go for Stone Edge to finish off the Sylveon. So here I go for Stone Edge, but unfortunately Sylveon avoided the attack. And that was a big miss, because that would have definitely finished off Sylveon. But now Sylveon is slowly gaining health back thanks to its leftovers. So here I switch out. Don't want to take another Moonblast on my Flygon, so I go into Gallade. Sylveon tried to Protect, but it failed because I switched. So now here I go for the Psycho Cut, and that does finish off the Sylveon, so I'm relieved there. I don't want to deal with the Sylveon anymore. And my team is really weak against Fairy. So here's his Gliscor again. So I think I know what Gliscor is going to do, is trying to Protect to rack up the poison damage. So I switch into Flygon. So his Protected fail. But he goes for it again, and it worked. And that protected itself from my Outrage. And unfortunately Gliscor gets some health back. with Poison Heal. So it'll probably survive an outrage after some Poison Heal recovery, so I switched into my Gallade, and good thing I did because he tried to Toxic, and he can't poison the Pokemon that's already poisoned, of course. So here I'm just trying to psych him out. Every time he tries to protect, I'm going to switch. And because I don't want my Gallade to rack up any poison damage. So he protects, and I try to outrage again. But I'm really just avoiding the inevitable. Here I go for the outrage, and Gliscor, I expected it to live because it's really physically bulky. And now he was able to Toxic Poison Flygon. And it went down to 1 turn of poisoning because it only had 4 HP. So this Toxic Stalling team is really dominating me right now. So my last Pokemon is Gallade. He protects. And here I just go for Substitute, which is another way to counter Toxic by switching or using a status move. Well, a status move that doesn't affect the opponent, of course. So here I go for Psycho Cut, and I didn't expect it to KO. So unfortunately, because of Life Orb recoil, my Gallade goes down, and Jake won the battle. So his Toxic Stalling team was very lethal, and it really did a number on my team. So after this Wi-Fi battle, even though I won 4 straight after this, and then I lost the 5th battle, I'm not going to use this team anymore because it's really weak against Fairy and Ice. But it was nice to try out this team for Omega Ruby. Now I know what works and what doesn't work. So alright guys, thank you for watching this Wi-Fi battle with Jake. Comment, like, sub, and see you guys next time.